Hey everybody, this is Sarah Harnish. I'm a Young Living Diamond and I'm the author of Unstuck, How to Talk to Humans and Get Them to Respond to You. And this is day 6 of Unstuck Bootcamp. You guys are doing wonderful that you've held out this long. Or if you're just joining me, I'm really glad to have you on the journey. This is an amazing boot camp and very different from what we've done in the past. Game plan, step back and just looked over a whole Young Living business and said, okay, these are the things you got to do to be able to grow your business. Unstuck looks out and says, you need an audience for that business. You got to have a way of connecting with human beings. And what does that look like? What does a follow-up funnel look like? What does a one-on-one class look like? What does meeting people where they are look like? How much persistence do I need to have when I'm talking to people? How do I talk to people I don't know? How do I talk to people that other people signed? How do I find business builders? And it all goes back to the art of the relationship. So you're going to learn all of those skills in this boot camp, and that's why it doesn't matter when you jump in. So if tonight's your very first night, that's awesome. You're going to learn so many things tonight that are just going to blow your doors off. And this week, tomorrow is a doozy. Tuesday, Wednesday are going to be some of the most powerful training nights of the whole week. So you want to make sure truly that you do not miss those two. And if you miss everything this week, go back and watch those 2 videos because tomorrow night we're going to be talking about follow-up in a way you have never ever heard explained before. And I'll be very thorough about exactly what I do when I'm doing follow-up and what the people before you have done, what a funnel looks like, how to not get lost in the funnel that you're building, how to do it in seconds a day, because if it's minutes a day, I don't do it. I don't stick with it. So tonight's training is going to be super tight. We're going to go exactly 20 minutes tonight, and I picked 2 short chapters, kind of buzz through it. It's first day back. You guys have had a little time off. I don't want to kick your tush in too hard tonight, but tomorrow night, come ready for some fire because we're really going to hit follow-up very deeply. And then on Wednesday, now, if you're not watching these live, don't worry about the dates, but on day 7 and day 8, we're going to talk about exactly every single thing that I do to teach a 101 class. And these 101 classes are the way that 70% of Young Living business builders build. So it is the most common type of class. It is not the only class, and it is not the only way to build, but it is the most common way of building. And so I'm going to be very thorough in that class. We're going to take an entire night just to look specifically at 101s. And this book was a lot of work. It was over 8,000 interviews to be able to put all this content together in one place for you. And what I wanted to know was, when you had a kit sale, what did you do? You know, what words did you say? How did you connect with that human being? What things were you using? What tools were you using? What words were you using? How did your relationship build? What did that look like for you? And so that's the place that I start this book, is just to give you some fresh ideas. I mean, many of you guys have been at this for longer than a year, right? You've been at it for a while, or you hit a rank and you're super stoked about your rank and now you're just stuck. Like your OGV isn't moving. You're not getting leaders fired up like you were when you first started the business. Or maybe you've been trying to start the business for like 5 years or 10 years and you're a star. And you just have no idea how to get this thing off the ground. And you see people hitting diamond in 10 months or hitting diamond in two years. And you just don't understand how they did it, and you're really frustrated. So that's the entire purpose of boot camp, is to either get your business off the ground, get your business unstuck, turn you around, and get your OGV moving again. And I know exactly what grows your OGV because I have plateaued and I have unplateaued myself many times in my business. And the way of getting yourself unstuck is by sharing. You have to share oils. If you personally are not out there sharing, your leaders are not duplicating what you're doing, and you are not seeing any real long-term growth. Not anything that's gonna undo the 3% attrition that you're having every single year. So it's very important that you get back to those basic roots of sharing oils with people. And the reason that we stop doing that is because honestly, we go so long without a kit sale, then we start losing our confidence. We get scared. We make up reasons why we can't do it in our head. We say we don't know anybody, but the reality is you don't have to know people to do this business. I built all the way to diamond in New York without knowing anybody. at all. I just moved 800 miles. I was living on $20 a week. So it didn't take money and it didn't take a network for me to build in New York. I just moved down to Greenville, South Carolina 1 week ago, and I'm about to build a crown in this city. And guess what? I don't know anybody. I don't even know my neighbors yet, but I'm going to build a massive network down here in Greenville, and everybody in this city is going to be using Young Living by the time I'm done, right? You got to go into it with that mindset instead of, well, I don't know anybody, and so I guess I just can't do network marketing, right? It's not the way that works, because it doesn't require a massive friend circle for you. It requires you to get outside your comfort zone and love on human beings. So if you have human beings anywhere in a 3-hour radius around you, you should be able to build this thing, right? So, okay. Oil of the night. That was just a little preview of what we're going to be talking about over the course of this week in these next 5 videos. This one's a little bit different. This oil took me a little while to fall in love with. Valor and Northern Lights Black Spruce last week were easy for me, but this one was like, "Urgh." So this is Envision oil. And I picked it for a reason. I actually picked it for the blend of oils that's in it, not the mix of it. And you might smell Envision and be like, oh my word, I love this oil. This is amazing. I smelled it and went, okay, all right, I'm going to use it because I know what it does. It's like, I got to get the medicine down my throat because I know what the after effects are going to be. I got to get this oil in my nose because I know how it's going to make me feel, right? So we're going to talk about Envision for a second, but I just wanted to tell you, do not feel like you are behind in this boot camp. You are never, ever, ever behind. If this is the only video out of all 20 that you catch, you're going to grow just from this one video, and you're going to get ideas and tips because we're skills training. So every night we're training on different skills. It doesn't Lego block build off of itself. So if you catch nights 12, 18, and 20, or nights 1, 2, and 3, and then you completely drop off, it's okay. It's all right. You could take 6 months and do this boot camp in little tiny pieces, and that's okay too. There's really no wrong way of doing this. So don't feel like you're behind. Don't get frustrated if you're not caught up in the reading or the workbook. I am not going to whoop you. I whoop my children sometimes. I whoop them sometimes, but I'm not going to whoop you. I promise, all right? All right. So Envision oil. Young Living says that it contains scents that stimulate feelings of creativity and resourcefulness, encouraging renewed faith in the future and the strength necessary to achieve your dreams. So is it saying, oh, this oil is going to achieve your dreams for you? No. It says it's going to give you strength so that you feel that you can achieve your dreams, which is huge, all right? If you want help with procrastination and with motivation, if you want to expel negative emotions and emotional blocks, then Envision oil really could be for you. If you're just sitting there going, I just can't talk to people. Like Sarah, I can't do what you're doing. I'm totally overwhelmed. I definitely can't talk to strangers. I'm not going to pick up the phone and talk to people I didn't enroll. Like, what does that even look like? If you're speaking those things over your business, then you're speaking negativity over your business. That you have to deal with that stuff if you're going to move forward in your business. Otherwise, it's a big, huge brick wall that's going to hold you back from your next rank, because your leaders are going to copy that kind of speech. They're going to, what you believe about your business, that's what you are going to disseminate through your entire team. So if you believe you can't talk to anybody, what's going to happen to your whole team? Your whole team is going to think that they can't talk to people, right? Your whole team's not going to be out there doing follow-up, and your whole team is not going to be out there teaching classes. If you're not setting the tone and the example for your team, they're not going to copy what they see you doing. So you have to expel that speech. And Envision is going to help you. Another thing that I love about this oil is it gets you out of the left brain mentality and opens up the randomness of the right brain, where creativity and intuition flow. So, left brain says, well, this is realistic. This is how this is going to work. And there's no way that can possibly happen. Right brain says the sky is the limit. If it doesn't work, I'm going to find a way to make this work. And it's going to be a way nobody's ever thought of. With 6 million distributors in Young Living, I will find a way to reach that person, right? Right brain is very creative and very intuitive, and very thinking out of the box, right? So it kind of shuts that left brain off and pulls you into that right side of your brain and just stimulates that side of your brain. It gets that side of your brain excited so you feel like you have hope again. So it says, elevate your mind, bring balance to your emotions, move forward toward your goals with Envision Essential Oil. Just really gets you thinking, what if? What if I was a Royal Crown Diamond? What if I was making $144,000 a month? Like, that's cray-cray, right? Well, like, what would I even do with that kind of money? That's nuts. You know what you're going to do with that kind of money? You're going to help so many people So many people change your lives. You have no idea what the Lord has in store for you and what your voice and your platform is going to do for those people. And so getting out of that box of, well, geez, I don't know what to do with that kind of money. Why would I even need that? That's just thinking about you. Right? You got to think about the people around you. You got to think about that impact of 35,000 people on your team as a World Crown Diamond and what your words and your hope and your vision is going to bring to those families, right? Get yourself outside of that thinking of, gosh, I can't do that. I can't manage that. I can't. You know what? If the Lord is going to bring you to it, he's not going to leave you there without the tools and without the people and without the network and without the leaders and without the friends and without the relationships to be able to do what you need to do, right? So let's talk a little bit about some of these oils that are in this blend. Orange is really rich in D-limonene. This is one of my favorite happy oils. I love this oil. I like the smell of tangerine better, but I like what orange does to my body better. So orange is just, I like to say it goes back deep into the brain. And when you had good things happen in your childhood, very good positive memories, good smells, good conversations with family members around you, good positive things spoken into you, to you, through you, whatever, the oil is going to go into those deep parts of the brain and kind of recall some of those memories for you. So it takes you to the good things from your childhood and pulls those out so that when you're focusing on all the bad things, we're in winter now, a little less sunshine, not down here in South Carolina, but a little less sunshine and a little more gloom out your window. This is a great oil to diffuse to just kind of pull your head out of the gutter. It helps to support normal cellular function, also has calming effects and may be used for feelings of peace. It's an oil of hope. Spruce is in there. That's grounding and releasing. Geranium is soft. It's supportive. It brings balance to your female, creative, emotional side versus the masculine action side. Remember, that's that left brain, right brain side. Rose, it eases stress. It's a really good stress reduction. It's a good way to cheaply, affordably get rose oil, right, is through this blend. It's a sweet fragrance. It's intoxicating. It's highly romantic. It stimulates that creative side of your brain. Very high vibrational oil. So it's actually going to help to raise your frequency. And this is also good for getting your head out of the gutter. If you're around people all the time, they're just negative Nellies, this is a great oil to put on yourself or have going in your diffuser because you got to step outside of those people. And it's really hard if they're in your circle, like you're seeing him every day. They're speaking that sarcasm, negativity over you every single day. You don't feel like you can get outside of that. Get some of this diffusing and say, no, you know what? They can choose that for themselves, but I'm not going to choose that for me. I'm not going to choose that. Lavender helps you relax, helps you wind down. It's said to be the oil of honest communication and expression. So being able to just very gently pour into those people around you, it's honest communication. It calms the racing mind. It allows a person to settle into their heart and speak with gentleness, speak with kindness. So maybe sometimes your words are a little sharp to the people that are around you. It's going to help you not be that way. You're not going to be perceived that way when you sit down and talk to them. It eases anxiousness and fear, including fear of rejection, and allows a person to feel present, calm, and engaged in very healthy ways. It increases a sense of security and peace. And in this way, it helps to build trust in yourself and in others. And then sage essential oil helps to uplift you and aid with mental fatigue. It's a very powerful cleanser of negative thoughts. If you ever wonder what to do with all this stuff, you're like, man, this is like really good aromatherapy training, especially emotional aromatherapy training. I spend a couple hours every day digging through many, many reference guides to pull some of this stuff and testimonies and all of that. It takes about 6 to 8 hours a day to get ready for these videos every night. I've collected all this information and it's up on my website. So if you click on boot camp days 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the stuff on the oils, you can literally go in each day and copy it and paste it so that you have it for your own little business aromatherapy notebook and keeping yourself accountable. So we're only going to go through 2 chapters tonight. One more thing about sage. Sage, I said, it helps to uplift you. It helps to aid mental fatigue. It's a very powerful cleanser of negative thoughts. So when your head starts slipping into that place, you're like, I can hear what's coming out of my mouth and I can hear what I'm thinking, but I don't want to be thinking those things. Like, I want to pull myself out of that place and do better for myself and do better for my family. Sage is a really, really good oil to diffuse for that. It's wonderful. It just kind of banishes all of those attacks that you get all day long belong. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not this. You're not that. You're never going to be a diamond. You know what? Shoo. I serve a God that loves to do big things with little people, right? The whole history of the Old Testament is God doing big things with little people. New Testament, big things with little people. So, you know what? He's got a history of doing that. That means he can use you too. He can use your gifts and talents, right? All right, we're going to jump right into chapter 16 and then 17. We're going to move kind of quickly tonight because these are pretty short chapters, but they're power punchers. There's a lot of very good information in a really short space in these. I looked back, especially for this chapter and the next one, I looked back and I thought, okay, what did I do to go from starter kit to silver in 12 weeks? Like, what exactly were my actions? And I knew I was teaching a class a week. Like that, I was not negotiable on. I was very, very strict about that regimen. But beyond the class a week thing, finding the audience, what exactly did I do that led to those starter kit sales? And we're talking 124 sales in basically 3 months, 3.5 months. So what were the actions I did? So I kind of collected that information in these 2 chapters, and I want to help you get off on the right footing and doing the right things, because you can do a whole lot of things for this business that don't actually grow your OGV, right? And you can get burned out and you can think that network marketing doesn't work. It's not that it doesn't work. It's that you're not doing actions that actually lead to OGV growth. And then you get burned out and you feel like you're pouring all of your time into this business, but it's not actually doing anything for your family and you're not seeing the check growing. It's because you're not doing the things that will grow your check. So you got to stay in that space. The space is this big. You got to run around in that space to be able to grow your paycheck. So let's talk about the key to growth. What things will grow your check? I love the first sentence of this chapter. This is chapter 16. If you're following along, we're just doing 2 chapters tonight, 16 and 17. We're only going to do 2 chapters tomorrow night and only 1 chapter on Wednesday. So we're really kind of digging deep into this material. The first sentence of the whole book, of this chapter in the book says, it's time to jump into the meat of this book, which is how you actually get people to listen to you. But I have tricked you. By the time you get to this point in the book, I tricked you because we already covered it, because that training came in the beginning of the book. You get people to listen by listening to them, right? I'm going to say that again. You get people to listen by listening to them. Most people just want an ear. They just want to know somebody out there cares about them and is going to actually listen to them when they have struggles and they're really not sure how to get through them. They want to know that somebody is the solution, right? That somebody has answers. They want somebody just to be that quiet voice in the back that says, hey, you know what? It's okay and we're going to get through this together, right? That's what they're looking for. And so you're going to build your organization by being that person for the people around you. Just, hey, you know what? I got you. You want to talk? You just text me. It's all right. I understand what it's like raising these kids, man. Kids are crazy. You would not believe how much my 4 teenage sons ate for dinner last night. It literally was 50 servings of fettuccine in a bowl that was so big I could barely hold it myself. I get it. I understand how much teenagers eat. Talk to me about where you're at. Talk to me about why you're frustrated, right? So just sitting down and having those connecting points with people and being that springboard for them is huge. It's huge. You get people to listen to you. You build the relationship with them by listening to them. That's how you grow your organization. So if you don't like where you are, if you don't like where your finances are, if you don't like how lonely you feel, if you don't like the amount of stress that you're under every single day, if you don't like the level of exhaustion you deal with every single day, change it. Change it for yourself. You can stay where you are, and we can be having this conversation 10 years from now in another boot camp, or you could say, you know what? I'm done. I lived in the projects 12 years. I'm done. I'm not living in the projects anymore. I'm going to get out there and fight for my business until the Lord just loves on our family and says, hey, you did the hard work. You grew your organization, and this is where I'm going to take you. There's my son, Benjamin. All right. This is what diamond looks like. It's just that ability to be able to have those desires of your heart and pour out on other people and take care of your family. But, we wouldn't have grown from the projects to where I'm standing with my feet right now in South Carolina had I not gotten out there and said, you know what? No, fear. Like, I'm afraid to talk to people, right? I talk to a wall all day at work. I'm scared. And I don't know a lot of people. But if those are the defining words over your business, then how do you build a diamond? You got to choose it for you. You got to choose it for your family. You are capable. You are able. You have gifts and talents. You have fight. You have drive. You have desire. You have love for people. So you got to get out there and go fight for it. Don't just stay where you are. There's no way out of that, right? If you don't start doing some of these actions, you just stay in that pit over and over and over and over, and there is no release. No release at all. So we're just renting this place right now, but maybe the Lord will open the door this summer for us to be able to buy it. We'll see what he does. Right now I'm selling 2 houses in New York, and you know my thoughts. I love Dave Ramsey's training on finances. If that's an area where you really get stuck, look into Financial Peace University. It's amazing training. He's a really gifted financial advisor, and I love his stuff. And so we're not biting off more than we could chew right now, and I'm just renting until we sell our houses. But, I love that the Lord has given us a place that's safe for our kids. We got every inch of this house used right now. We got kids in every nook and cranny and bedrooms and offices and all sorts of things. But you know what? I would never have had that if I hadn't talked to strangers. I would never have had that if I hadn't listened to people, listened to where they were and been that resource for them and pointed them in the right direction. We just had a beautiful missionary family at our house for 4 hours this afternoon that drove down from New York. Their daughter was enrolled in college here, and just put together a big bag, a whole kit for their daughter for college, and said, listen, when these things start happening in your body, this is what I want you to do. And just grabbed a whole bunch of oils off of my shelves over here and put Ziploc bags of resources and tools together for her. And I said, this is what I want you to do. When everybody else around you is getting colds, this is what you do, right? Loved on mama, loved on the car buddy, and sent them all away with bags of oils and training and stuff on it. And you know what? Then they go home and they start training the people around them, and they get excited too. And so that's how that circle works. It's just being that resource and being what people need, right? So, if you don't like where you are, and I mentioned this, finances, loneliness, stress, exhaustion, just change it. You have to want freedom more than the fear that holds you back. I'm going to say it again. You have to want freedom more than the fear that holds you back. So all those reasons coming off of your tongue on why you can't build this thing, all right? All those reasons, they're in the back of your head on why everybody else can do it, but you can't do it. That's exactly the kind of language you have to kick out of your head and say no. No, I'm sorry. I'm not staying where I am anymore. I want more for my family. I want more for my children, and that's okay. God loves a good work ethic. He loves it. This business is not going to fall from the sky in your lap. No rock star is going to come and build all 6 legs for you. You have to get out and teach the classes, roll up your sleeves, do the training, be willing to do the follow-up, be willing to not get frustrated when people take a while to understand what oils are, and pour out and pour out and pour out. You've got to be willing to do that to build this. Right? You've got to be willing to do it. And if you're not willing to do it, then it's going to take you a really long time to build a diamond. Right? Because I don't know of anything else that provides freedom like this. I just don't. And I have done a lot, guys. I delivered pizzas. I've detasseled corn. I've been managers in restaurants. I've managed, mechanic shops. I went to school for teaching. I taught 4th and 8th grade in Illinois. Then the Lord put my feet in radio, and I anchored in 39 different radio stations. I worked for a book publishing company. I've typed addresses all day long. I've had over 50 jobs in the 25 years that I have been working in the workforce. And I even went to college, took out a $70,000 loan that took me 18 years to pay off. And you know what? None of that gave me what this has given me. None of it. None of it. I mean, John and I get paid more than rocket scientists right now. I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm a mom. I'm a mom that loves to train other moms how to take care of their babies without poisons and chemicals and toxins and all sorts of garbage. 1 ingredient things. That's what I teach people how to do. I don't have any cool fancy letters after my name, right? I don't have any PhDs. I have no medical background, but I know that sugar is poison. I know that I don't want sodium lauryl sulfate in anything that I'm washing my dishes or my clothing with. I know that I don't like toxic cleaners on my counters. I know that I don't like bleach in my kids' bodies. I know I don't like all those things. I'm smart enough to figure that much out. So if you're smart enough to figure that much out and you want to pour that out on other people, then you are in the right business. And I know where this goes if you continue talking in that way and speaking to the people around you. I love this. Ann says, RCD, here I come. So, but here's the thing. Nobody's going to do it for you. You can't just sit on your tush and wait for people to teach classes for you. You have to get out there and do it, because otherwise you're just going to stay where you are. You're going to stay where you are. So whatever the thing is in here that says, I can't do this because, that is the sentence you're no longer allowed to say about your business. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. That sentence is an excuse. All right? No more of those. Now I want you to move forward and start doing the actual things that will grow your business. Start teaching classes in whatever way that looks like for you. We're going to break down 15 different types of classes that work very well in Young Living. They're the most common ones that I found, right? We're going to start doing that this week with the most popular one on Wednesday. So now we're going to do a huge shift in what we cover. Tonight's more of a preview night. Tomorrow, a follow-up is your Achilles heel. You are not going to want to miss day 7. It is a wonderful training on following up. And the next day or two, we're going to dig really deep into the many ways of sharing oils. And this was compiled of more than 8,000 interviews over 3 years and data from corporate speakers that I've gotten. Your personality, your gifts, your talents, your interests, your desires will weigh in more than how you teach. You're going to find your way of sharing based on what your gift sets are, right? But that only happens when you start moving your feet and stop speaking all this stuff over you guys. It isn't true. Don't listen to that stuff. Gail says money shortage is killing me. Gail, I didn't have any money to build my business. I had nothing. I had nothing. I didn't even have business cards. We didn't even have food. We would go days with no food, and that was with food pantries and food cards. We were below the poverty level. Our family of 7 was living on $6,000 a year when I started this business. $6,000 a year. That was with 4 jobs, 4 minimum wage jobs. You don't need money to build Young Living. That is a lie that the evil one is speaking into your head. What you need is humans. You need humans and a passion to take care of humans. So if you open up your door and you walk outside your door, there are humans outside your door. Talk to the humans. That's how you build this. Not with money, not with networks, not with friend circles, not with degrees, not with aromatherapy certifications. You don't need all that stuff. You need humans. Okay? You need humans. I see the thing about money and I'm like, shoot, I'm sitting here in front of you almost a crown diamond and I built my business with zero. With zero. Every oil that I own came either from my Young Living paycheck or my ER points. It did not come because I had money in my bank account. I have never spent 1 penny on a single oil that I own. Not any thieves, not any dish soap, not anything. Every single oil and every product we've had, over $40,000 in Young Living products in the last 5 years, has come for free because of either my paycheck or because of Essential Rewards. So I didn't have money to build my business. Even my starter kit. John took it out of my birthday money, and then I taught a class. I sold 6 kits my first class. He took my first paycheck and paid back our account. So even my starter kit, even the starter kit, I have not used my own money for. John's starter kit, didn't use our own money for that. It all came from Young Living. So if you think you have to have money to build this thing, it is a lie that the devil wants you to believe. If you think you have to have this massive network to build this thing, it is a lie the devil wants you to believe. That stuff is not true. It's not true. Getting over fear, that's true. Stepping outside your door and doing things that scare you, that's true. Connecting with humans in an authentic way and listening to them and meeting their needs, that's true, okay? All those things are true. But having money, having friends, that's not true. That's not true. You don't need those things. All right, what you need is to stand on top of fear. That you need. So the true talent is you. And I want you to know, we're training tonight on Unstuck, which is how to talk to humans. This is up on Amazon right now. I don't have it on my website yet, but it's coming in a couple weeks. We already sent all the print material to my publishing house in San Antonio. But even though I wrote this book and I wrote Game Plan, no book's going to get you to diamond. My book is not going to get you to diamond. My book's going to give you ideas. It's going to give you some things to get your feet out of that miry muck that your feet are stuck in right now, which is why you're not moving. But it's not going to get you to diamond. You have to act to get your tush to diamond. You got to walk out that front door and connect with people. You got to connect with people. Today I was in Whole Foods. I was getting some groceries for our friend that was coming over this afternoon. Connected with the cashier and I got her contact information. That woman's going to end up on my team. I love her. She's personable and bubbly and happy and all things. And the guy that was stocking all the vegetables, he's the one that stocks all the produce for Whole Foods. We had a 10-minute conversation on slivered versus sliced almonds and what he stocks in his store. And he talks about why healthy eating is so important to him. And I said, I totally agree. Do you realize that all of your dish soaps on your counter have sodium lauryl sulfate in it? And he's like, I don't understand what that is. I said, we really need to talk. And so I collected his contact information. That guy's going to end up on my team too. We're going to sign everybody. Remember, everybody in Greenville. Should I read Game Plan before Unstuck? You don't have to. You can, but you don't have to. So no book is going to get you to diamond. The trick is finding the best way of sharing with your gifts. And that's what the second half of this book is dedicated to, is finding your way of sharing. But stop believing you can't approach people, because that's a lie. It's not true, all right? It's not true. You just got to love them. You got to love them before you ever even know them. And that is how you talk to them, because you care about them and you care about what happens to their family. And people are poisoning themselves every single day and they don't even know it. They don't even know it. So stop putting yourself down. What does diamond mean? All it means is they've taught more classes than you. That's it. It's literally it. They've taught more classes. They have shared with more people. It doesn't mean they're better than you in any way. I'm a diamond standing in front of you, and shoot, most of you guys have more talent in your pinky finger than I ever have. Whenever I stand in front of you guys at book signing lines, I'm just blown away at your creativity, at your authenticness, at your rawness, at your amazing ways of sharing. You come up with stuff that I would never, ever, ever think of doing. I mean, I've taught close to 900 classes now, and I do it exactly the same way. Script, kit, human, repeat, right? The same thing over and over and over and over. And you guys find the most amazing ways of sharing. I respect everybody who's building a business at any rank out there, because most of you guys have done things I can't do. You have gifts and talents that I don't have. And I respect the diamonds for their resiliency and for their fight. The fact that they built to that rank means that they did not give up, even though they got kicked in the face and they said no, and somebody said no, and somebody else said no, and somebody else said no. They kept getting kicked in the face and they just got back up and kept walking and got back up and kept walking. That's the only difference between diamond and you, right? You got to take, 20,000 more kicks to the face, get up and just keep going. Nicole, it's okay if you flub up your words. It's all right, because the person on the other end isn't going to hear your flub up. They're going to hear that you care about them. All right, they're going to hear your authenticity. Those are the places where they're going to connect with you. So it's okay, right? It's all right. They're going to see through that stuff. So I respect the diamonds for just being resilient, for getting up every time they fall down. But it doesn't mean that you don't have the same fight in you. You do have the same fight in you. You got to just not want to be where you are. When you don't want to be where you are so much that you have broken that over you, you'll get out there and you'll fight the same way the diamonds did, right? You just have to stay at it longer, and you have to do things that will grow your business. 99% of the reason that you're not filling classes is because you don't think that you can. You really, when you sit down and hash it out, you don't think that you can do this. So what I say is fake it till you make it. We have that saying in the newsroom. People get all over me about saying this all the time. I'm like, no, it's actually a legit thing. If you're scared, 45 cities, 52 cities I've spoken in. I'm speaking Port Jackson, Texas this weekend for a rally. Every time I speak, I go backstage and I puke my guts out. You know what I have to do? I have to wipe the vomit off my face, drink a swig of water and a chug of Ningxia, and get my butt out there on that stage. Because I am not going to walk away from the 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 1,000 people or whatever that have shown up and are present. I'm not going to walk away from them because of my fear. That's not okay. So you wipe off the vomit and you get out there and you go do the hard things you have to do. Even if when you first step on stage, you feel like you're faking it. You got to get one foot in front of another and keep doing those things that scare you, right? Fake till you make it. Exude confidence, because anybody will follow a confident person, right? They'll follow a confident person. There are many, many ways of sharing oils. And here's the thing, and I'm going to say this a lot over the next week and a half. No way is the wrong way. Textable classes, DVD teaching, vendor events, Instagram, Facebook, Vimeo, in-person 101 classes with 50 people or one person at a coffee house. No way is the wrong way. Even make and takes. And you guys know how I feel about make and takes, right? No way is the wrong way, provided, here's the one caveat, people can copy you. Provided that people can copy you. If you lose that duplication factor, it's going to hit you in finding leaders. People have to not be scared, all right? So if you get starter kits out of the way that you shared, guess what? Your way was the right way. Sitting in front of people with a script is not the only way of teaching classes. Now, that's the way that we're going to open with because it's the most common, but I'm going to train you on 14 other styles, and maybe one of those just nails it for you. Textable classes just nails it for you, and you're like, I can share like this while I'm working my other job. Like, I can actually do this. It's awesome. So there's many, many ways of sharing oils, and no way's the wrong way as long as people can copy it. So if you're getting starter kits out of it, it is a viable method. How do I feel about make and takes? Well, this could rabbit trail me for a minute. All right, so I'm a blue personality, but almost equally red, and I love to do things that get results. And so I went to a beauty school once, and somebody from corporate said 70% of people that do make and take classes, people that come to the classes never buy the oils and they never make that thing again. They walk away with their body butter and their sprays and all the things, and they never, ever, ever make it again. I think to the make and takes I've gone to, I've never made any of those things again after 5.5 years in Young Living. And I didn't go order the oil. So if 70% of the people that you're talking to never do it again, they're just coming for a fun girls' night out, why are you doing it, right? I want 100%. I want 100% of people ordering kits. I want 100% of people being on board with oils. And if that doesn't happen, if only 30% happens for make and takes, to me, that's not worth it, right? Just absolutely not worth it. So that's why I'm not really all in on make and take classes. However, there is a way of doing make and takes that is duplicatable, and I put it in the book because of that, because of the two kits that Young Living came up on with, and we're going to train on that when we get to the make and take section. Yeah, it really truly is a waste of time, because you have to go buy bottles, you have to buy labels, you have to buy chalkboard pens, you have to buy all these things, and guess what? You're not spending it in your virtual office, right? So when I look out over the people that built their organizations, almost all of them didn't get the OGV growth from their make and take classes. They just didn't get it. They got it from sitting down and meeting people's needs. All right. I know a lot of people say, well, it's just for girl time. It's just for this. And you're okay. That's okay. Like if that's what you want it for, that's all right. But I do not do it for my 101 classes, because it scares away leaders. They can't afford all of the supplies that they have to buy for it, or the time that they have to put in to be able to do it. It's not duplicatable. Very, very stressful. So we'll head on make and takes a little bit later on. But those are my initial thoughts. Just keep it simple. Just keep it simple, right? And the simpleness of it is, what is your need? Let me show you how to look that up. That's the isms of sharing oils. What's your need? Let me show you how to make it up, okay? So, all right, many ways of sharing oils, no way's the wrong way. Now let's just slide right into the next chapter. We're going to do this one in like 3 minutes, and then I'm going to let you guys go. I was trying so hard to get this done in 20 minutes tonight. So this is how to get people to respond to you, 101, all right? 101, how to get people to respond. I went back and I looked at what I did that got me to silver. All right, Nina says we use them for team building. Team building is fine. I do some stuff at my retreats, even though it's against my better judgment to do it, because the team just loves it so much, but it's not a viable way of building OGV. It really isn't. You scare a lot of leaders away with it. So here's 5 quick tips on how to get people to respond to you and that actually gets results, that really truly gets your feet moving. When I look back at silver, what exactly did I do that just went bam, bam, with star, senior star, executive silver, just like, what were the actions I was doing that got me to that point? So number 1, and these are just 5 quick things that I want to leave you with that I really want you thinking about tonight, and start implementing some of these things in your business, because it will lead to fast growth. If you're using these tips, it will lead to fast growth. So number 1, ask yourself, what would get your attention? What would get your attention? What did someone say to you that led to the kit? Did you start with thieves instead of oils? Did you start with savvy instead of oils, or Ningxia? What did they do that really got your attention? It's okay to start over there instead of over oils if that's where your passion is. That's all right. As long as it's one of the core 4 classes, right? Oils, thieves, Ningxia, and savvy, you're going to do just fine. All right, just fine. So number 2, remember where you were when you got your kit. This is what I call unlimited passion, right? Unlimited gentleness. All right, you got to remember where you were when you first got your kit. You were in darkness. You really, truly were. You had no idea how to make sinus bombs with vitality oils. Like, you had no idea how to just do little mini raindrops down people's spines, and you didn't know about oils in the bathtub with Epsom salt, and you didn't know about all the things, right? You didn't know which ones to diffuse. You didn't know which ones you responded to really well, which ones lowered your stress. You're just learning. You're just at the very, very beginning and just starting everything. You didn't even know much about internal aromatic topical, right? You just had no idea what this stuff was. So put yourself in that place every time you're talking to a new person, instead of scaring the tar out of her. I want you to always gently assume that the spot with the person you're talking to without any exasperation on their journey. No folders with information overload, no 60 pages of photocopied stuff, no 15 reference books on the table, right? Just lots of grace and lots of training. Lots of grace and lots of training, right? So that's the second thing. You're never going to get exasperated with people if you always assume they don't know anything. You have that grace space where you just stand next to them and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be here with you forever. Like when you got your kit, you signed on to get me. Right? And we're going to walk right through this together. Don't you feel like you need to know it all in the first week? I would never put that expectation on you. Let's open up the stress away and we're just going to tackle this together, right? Supplements core 4 class number 5. Don't need to make it core 4 class number 5 because Ningxia is already a supplements class. So number 3 is go where the people are. This is huge when you're first starting to build. Huge. If they're an hour away, go there. If they're 3 hours away, go on a Saturday morning and go drive, right? Friends of friends within a 2 to 3 hour circle, go. You take your Young Living paycheck that first 6 months of your business or until you hit executive. You take that paycheck, you put your $100 ER order or $300 ER order in, and then after that, every single penny of your paycheck goes into your gas tank, and you go where the people are. You take that paycheck, you put it in your tank for 6 months, and you go people. I had one leader on my team, she's an amazing woman. She hit star, she hit senior star, she hit executive, and then she just kind of hovered at executive for like 4 years and just sat there. And one day she's like, you know what? I know a lot of people all over the United States. She goes, I want silver. I want silver this month. Problem is that she was 5,000 OGV short. So she grabbed her mom, they got in the car, and they literally drove from New York to Colorado. And they taught classes in every single state all the way along the way. She sold like 40 kits in 1 month. It was just class, class, class. She's like, I know people here. I know people here. I know people here. I know I can get 10 people together here. I know I can get 5 people together here. They're going to be excited to see me. I haven't seen them in a couple of years. And she literally hit silver the day she was teaching in Colorado. She did it in like 2 weeks because she just went where all the people were. She went where she knew people. She went where her friends knew people. She went to friends of friends. I couldn't believe how fast she hit silver because she got in her car and she went. She got in the car and she did it. She just did the hard work. And so put your paycheck in your gas tank for 6 months and just go. Just go. You know, you got space 1 day a week, you go do that one space. You go to church Sunday morning, you get in your car Sunday afternoon, you go teach Sunday night class, and then drive back home. Take a weekend off and go out and go teach classes, all right? Because she literally went silver in 1 just from teaching from New York all the way to Colorado. It was very, very impressive, all right? So go there. That was how I built so fast. You got to forget you have a paycheck for about 6 months and just get out there and go teach where you know people or where your people know people. Go to that place. Stop taking your paycheck and putting it in your regular budget. Set it aside and put it in your gas tank and go teach classes. How do you teach a class? Get on day 8, okay? We're going to go through it piece by piece. All right, and then number 4 out of 5. Go where you know people with large networks. Go to your friends with a large sphere of influence. If they're on fire and they know a lot of people, that is a huge asset to a Young Living business builder. Huge asset, even if they don't want to build the business. That's okay. You got to stop crossing them off the list because they don't want to build the business. They say no, and then we just write them off. So make it your goal to get their oils for free. Somebody just asked, what if you can't drive? Then you do all Zoom classes, Annalisa. You get internet in your house, and you teach a Zoom class to somebody in Colorado, and you teach a Zoom class to somebody in California, and you teach a Zoom class to somebody in the Philippines. So we're going to train on Zoom classes. You go build an international, worldwide network marketing business and do everything with Zoom classes if you can't drive. You find a way around your mountain because you don't want to stay at the base of the mountain forever. You got to blast through the mountain if you don't want to be where you are. So the only way that happens is if you find a way where you can't, not being able to drive is an excuse because there's 15 different types of classes and not all of them require driving, right? So maybe it's textable classes, maybe it's mailing DVD to somebody. It doesn't matter. If you can't do it, then with driving, then you find a way around that obstacle, right? So go where you know people with large networks. One of the ways I built so quickly is I was befriended a naturopath doctor. And so I didn't have a huge network, but probably 1 class a month that I taught, she would have 50 people in it. And I would just have laptops lined up and we just sign them. Bam, 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 bam. And I'd teach you 101 class, share my story with the oils, and they would line up at the computers and we would just sign them up. Because of her friend circles, she didn't even want to build a business. I said, well, I'll just put them underneath you, you know? She's like, yeah, I'm fine. I don't really need it. I said, okay, all right, then I'll take it. You know, and she had no problem with that at all. So, you know, it's okay if they don't want to build a business. What I did do is had her sign up, and then I put everybody underneath her because I wanted to honor her, whether she knew what she was saying no to or not, right? So, but just even if they don't want to build the business, they say no, and then we just write them off. Here's what I want you to do: make it your goal to help them get their oils for free. Make it your goal. And then the last thing, number 5, and then we're going to wrap up tonight. Don't underestimate your chances of finding leaders, even from the very first class. Don't ever underestimate that. Most people don't see the business right away. It's built into them from a love of the products, and it's a love that you take the time to be able to build. So don't scare them away with your actions, like Cricut cutter thieves stickers for your thieves bottles, signs filled with science and poster boards and all that kind of stuff, folders with 60 pages of photocopied stuff in it, money into supplies or titles or little decorating or $200 worth of food at your classes, folders, knowledge, studies, showing off all your titles, aromatherapy, studies, all that kind of stuff. You got to keep it simple. If your goal is a diamond ship, all right, if that's your goal, your long-term goal is a diamond ship, they should look at you and say, I want that. I want that. I want that for me. All right, they shouldn't look at you and say, I can never be that. I can't ever be that. So no bells and whistles. No bells and whistles. And so here's my MO. This is what I tell people when I'm teaching my classes. I say, I am a homeschool mom from upstate New York, and now I'm from South Carolina. Y'all. I'm getting better at that. That hates toxic chemicals on my kids. That's my story. And that's duplicatable. I'm a mom. I pick up underwear off my floor. I'm going to finish this video and go do 2 sinks of dishes. That's what I do, right? I'm a mama, and I don't like poisoning my kids. So if you're a mama and you don't like poisoning your kids, we can meet in that space, right? All right, that is duplicatable. So those are the 5 tips. Don't underestimate your chances of finding leaders, so don't scare them off with your actions. Get to know, go where you know people with large networks. Go where the people are. Put the gas in your gas tank and go teach where the people are. Remember where you were when you first got your kit, and don't information overload them. Just walk with them on the journey and ask yourself what would get your attention. Those are the things that I kept at the forefront of my mind when I was building from star to silver those first 12 weeks. So tomorrow, we're going to talk about how persistent you need to be able to get somebody signed to your team, right? This is a very powerful chapter. I really don't want you to miss day 7. And then a follow-up system you actually can do in seconds a day with just check boxes. No journaling, no writing, super, super simple. It took me as long to develop the Diamond Rising deck as it did to write this book, this 500-page book. It took me just as long to make these decks, even though they're very, very simple. So I can't wait to fully train you on this. I am blue. Blues do not stick to things. We're not very consistent, and we need a system, but one that doesn't require a lot, right? It's got to be really simple and something I would stick to. I have stuck to this now for a year and a half, and that's why my personally enrolled ER is 82%, because I'm using these cards, and they help me so much. So join me tomorrow. I'm going to give you a really simple funnel that is very, very easy to use. And then I also have a sale going on my website. If you're watching this live, that's going to give you a good discount off of it. All right. So your homework for tonight is I want you to read the chapters that we just went through, which I feel like I trained a lot on them. You could read them faster than I did to train. But it was chapter 16, which is the key to growth. And then how to get people to respond 101, chapter 17. Tomorrow we're going to do perfect persistence, 7 to 15 conversations and Diamond Rising decks. We're going to hit follow-up really, really hard. And what do you need to know? You need to know how to teach classes, you need to know how to follow up, and you need to know how to train your leaders. And we're giving you tools for all of those things. It's going to be so easy for you to duplicate Unstuck with your teams. I don't know if you guys have checked out the website at all, but I have been busting my tush off. We have a huge web team that spends hours every single night getting the website up to date every single time that we do anything on here. If you click on Unstuck, it's under the share button, or if you just go to share, you'll see Unstuck right there. If you click on it, this page is just loaded with information. I mean, loaded for you to be able to do this with your leaders when we're done. Do you want your leaders out there teaching classes? Do you want your leaders not distracted? Do you want your leaders doing things that are duplicatable? Do you want to put new ideas on how to teach? Do you want them putting their money in their gas tank and going and teaching classes, right? Do you want them on fire again? Do you want the excuses banned from their lips? If you want that for your leaders and over your team, you can do this boot camp with your team when we are done with our boot camp. You take it back to your team and you do the same thing all over again with them for free. It costs nothing. And we haven't even started releasing the free stuff on the site yet, but it'll show you all of the chapters in the book. You can click through it, and then boot camp is right here. So day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, you just click on it. Here's day 1. We've already had over 20,000 people go through day one. We're at 24,000 people on day one already. So you just go to day one. It's going to give you the oil of the night. You can tease it all day in your groups. It will give them homework to do. It'll tell you what we're covering that night. It'll give you a quote of the night. Everything is right there, and they just click on the video. So you literally just copy and paste. All right, you just copy and you grab the videos. All the bootcamp videos are in one spot, so it's super, super easy to be able to train your teams. You literally just paste it in your business groups every night. See, we haven't done those yet, so we're building it. You guys are the inaugural class. We're building it together. These are coming. When we teach the core 4, you're going to have your doors blown off with that. Teacher training, we're going to go through that. But for leaders leading Unstuck boot camps, did you know there's a new button at the bottom of the page where you can literally do a countdown to your own boot camp? You save all the graphics. It's free. You just download them to your computer, and then when you start doing the boot camp, you can day 1, day 2, day 3, you have graphics for every single day of training that don't cost you anything. So we're going to have a lot of tools and resources on here that will just make it very easy. I'm even going to do write-ups for you, so you can just copy and paste it right into your business group. Makes it really easy to be able to share. Videos are free, graphics are free, 30-day challenge calendars are free, classes are free, PowerPoint slides are free, textable classes are free. I'm going to be finishing those this week and putting them up, the new ones. So many free resources coming for you to make it easy for you to be able to duplicate this with your teams. All right, you guys know your homework. You got to do the reading for tonight on those 2 chapters, and then also you have to do the workbook for those 2 chapters. The workbook is amazing because it tailors all the training directly to you. So the book is going to give you all the wisdom and knowledge. The workbook says, all right, let's hash this out for what this looks like specifically for you and for your family. Let's draw up your budget, your dreams, your goals, your weaknesses, your excuses, all your things. And we're just going to work through every single one of those. And if you've been filling this out, you know it goes deep. It is really, really deep. Even from day 1, it's a very deep workbook. But it all comes down to this. You need vision. All right, and vision. You need vision for your business, or you're just going to stay where you are. Right? You got to get over those fears you got in the back of your head, or you're not going to be moving. You're not going to be moving from where you are. So I love you guys so much. You have an amazing night tonight. Go get into the book and workbook a little bit. And if your homework isn't done tomorrow night, that's okay. Come back and come hang out with me, and let's just inspire each other. These next 2 days, 7 and 8, are some of the most powerful chapters in the entire book. They are not videos you're going to want to miss. Get your team on here. Tag your leaders in it, because all the training you are getting, you're going to want your team to have also. Okay? I love you guys. You can do this. This is one of the hardest trainings in all of Young Living, and it's a big book. I know it's a big book, but that's why you just do the little pieces that you can, and God is going to plant those seeds in your heart for you to grow into a big old diamond ship. All right, book's up on Amazon. Go snag it. I got a sale run on my website. If you're watching this live, you can go stock up on tools, and I'll see you tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern, and we're going to really dig deep into follow-up and all those things that you stink at. We're going to just kick them to the curb. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Bye.